Nobody's handing you a truck. The day the trucks stop rolling, you own what you can pick up and walk with. That's the inventory. Every survival gun list ever made is built around the gun. The gun's the cheap part. It weighs 7 pounds on day 1 and 7 on the last day. The ammo decides how far you get. Nobody making these videos ever says that number out loud. 7 guns made this list. I sorted them on a kitchen scale. The end of the world isn't a firefight. That's the picture the internet sells you, and it's wrong. Men who've lived through one don't talk about gun battles. They talk about empty shelves, a road nobody's maintaining, and the neighbor on day 12 with nothing left to lose. Texas in 2021, times 10 for a year. So the question isn't which gun wins a fight you'll never have. It's which gun you can still feed in month 8. There's a man watching who built his whole plan around one black rifle and 4,000 rounds in a closet. He's in better shape than he thinks. And there's the other guy. Pump gun in the corner, 2 boxes of birdshot. Sure, he's fine. He's not. There's one caliber on this list you flat out cannot reload. Not hard to reload. Cannot. And it's still number 1. By the time we get there, you're going to walk over to your ammo cans and try to pick one up. Here are the rules, so you can check me. Every price came off live listings the second week of August 2026. Ranges, never single numbers, because prices move. Check them the week you buy. Every weight is a loaded round on a scale. No box, no mag. And here's the sorting rule nobody bothers with. The Army's own foot march manual, FM 21-18, caps a soldier's fighting load at 48 pounds. That's what he carries, not what he's wearing. Take out the rifle and the water, and you've got about 30 pounds left for ammo. So every gun here gets one question. What does 30 pounds of your ammo buy you? Weight sorts the top of this list. Everything under it gets sorted on what you can still buy and how many jobs it does. Some of you already own 5 of these. Good. Stay anyway. The number in the middle of this video is going to bother you. If you're the kind of man who weighs things instead of trusting the label on the box, you already belong here. Subscribe and the next breakdown finds you. No sponsors in this one, and there never will be. Number 7. A bolt gun in .308 Winchester or an .06, .330 to .430 for a Mossberg Patriot, .528 to .570 for a Ruger American. That's the price of admission to 400 yards, and none of it includes glass. It earns a spot for one reason. It's the only rifle here that's legal for deer in every state that sets a caliber floor. Hold that sentence until number 3. Because that's where a man's food plan comes apart. Standing over a deer, he can't legally shoot. Hunting ammo runs $21.50 to $25 a box of 20. M80 ball, 68 cents to $1. Now the honest knock. It's a big one. A loaded round of .308 ball weighs 370 grains. That's the military spec, and it's the light end. Hunting ammo weighs more, which only makes this worse. 18.9 rounds to the pound. 30 pounds of .308 is 567 rounds. Hold that number, 567. In 6 minutes, that's going to look like a mountain. By the end, it'll look like nothing. The bolt gun shoots farther than anything else here and feeds you the least. Both true? Number 6. The AK. And the exact reason it isn't higher. A PSA GF3 runs 660 to 760. A Zastava ZPAP M70, 1,085 to 1,499. 25 men asked the same question under the video that got me started on this. Why did the AK never come up? Fair question. Here's the part nobody says out loud. Steelcase 7.62 by 39 is now 55 to 65 cents a round. 5.56 is 42 to 59. Read that again, because that one line is the whole reason the AK sits at 6. The cheap gun now eats the expensive round. Russian ammo's been shut out since 2021. Serbia halted every arms export in June of 2025 and emptied the PPU shelf overnight. Zastava got carved out that November, and there's a 35% duty on what does land, which shows up as about 15% at the counter. Your 762 price this year got set in Belgrade and at a customs desk by men who have never fired one of these in their lives. Second knock. A loaded 30-round steel AK mag weighs 1.81 pounds. The GI aluminum 30 for the AR, 1.08, 68% more, same round count. And before somebody types it, a polymer AK mag closes half that gap. The other half is the cartridge, and you can't buy your way out of that one. And the reliability legend. InRange TV ran both rifles through mud in the winter of 2015. The AR kept running. The AK quit cycling. 2 rifles isn't a study, and the AK's still the simplest rifle on earth to keep running with hand tools. But when a man says it's more reliable than an AR, the best documented test anybody's put on video went the other way. Number 5. A .22 pistol, a Ruger Mark IV, $340 to $400. And now the part I've got to fix. You've heard you can put a can on a .22 for $99. 20 men asked where. Nobody answered. So here's the honest version. The advertised floor is $149.99, sitting on a 6 to 8 week back order. The $99 listing expired a month ago. The cheapest rimfire can actually on a shelf this week is $409. You'll pay close to triple what the internet quotes you. The $200 really is gone. Public Law 1, 19-21 dropped the federal transfer tax on cans and short barrels to 0 on January 1st. Machine guns kept theirs. The paperwork's a different story. On August 5th, a federal judge in Texas struck the registration requirement down for those same items, and the injunction went live this week. But it only covers the people who sued, the members of the groups that sued, and the customers of the companies that sued. Living in one of those states does not cover you, not by itself. The court put that in writing. A TF hasn't published a word. The appeal window's open, and every group that won this thing is telling people to keep filing Form 4s like normal. I'm not your lawyer. Go check it yourself. The median approval on an individual electronic Form 4 right now is 5 days. That 9-month wait you heard about died a while back? The honest limitation. A .22 pistol is a kit gun. Food and chores. It's the last thing you'd pick for a fight, and anybody selling it to you as a fighting gun is working an angle. Number 4. A pump 12 gauge. $200 to $260 for a Maverick 88, $330 to $350 for a Mossberg 500, $400 to $550 for a new Remington 870, and a clean used Wingmaster runs around $350. Nothing else you can buy for $400 does this many jobs. Birds, rabbits, a deer inside 50 yards with a slug, and the far end of your own hallway at 2 in the morning. Trap loads run 34 to 44 cents a round. Double-aught buck by the case, 68 to 84, and a correction, because the campfire versions got this wrong. A double-aught pellet isn't 60 grains. It's 53.8. And there's 8 or 9 in a 2 3/4 inch shell, depending on who loaded it. Nobody's required to load a set number. Now the knock. Worst one on the list. A loaded double-aught shell weighs 710 grains, 9.9 shells to the pound. 30 pounds of 12 gauge is 296 rounds. 296 against 567 for the bolt gun, and you haven't seen the top of this chart yet. The scatter gun gives you the most gun per dollar on this list. It gives you the least ammo per pound. Sit with that. This is the part I promised you, and it's why I made this instead of another list. Every one of these is a complete round on a scale. 30 pounds buys you this: 308 Winchester 370 grains, 567 rounds, 12 gauge double aught 710 grains, 296 rounds, 762 by 39 253 grains, 830 rounds, 556 182 grains, 1154 rounds, 9mm 182 grains, 1154 rounds. Now go back over those last two. A round of 9mm 115 ball and a round of 556 M193 weigh the same. Not close, the same inside 3 grains. A pistol round and a rifle round, dead level on the scale, and that argument's run at gun counters for 40 years with nobody bothering to weigh either one. Go heavier on the 9 and you give some of it back. Ball against ball, it's a wash. One more. This one takes out a second myth while we're here. Steel case 7.62 weighs 253 grains. Brass weighs 262, 3.5% apart. Steel case saves you money. It doesn't save you weight. The 556 number comes from the Army's own technical manual. The 308 is military spec. The 7.62 is off Barnaul's own sheet, from back when you could still buy it. Subscribe before the last 3, because number 1's going to start a fight in these comments, and I want you in it. Number 3, the Black Rifle. $400 to $470 for a PSA complete rifle. $600 to $700 for an M and P15 Sport 3. $1,750 if you want a BCM. The NSSF counted 32 million of these produced or imported since 1990. That's what got built, not what's sitting in safes, and it's why every part on this rifle sits in a bin in every gun shop in America. The imported AK has to satisfy 922R. The AR never once had to think about it. 556 runs, 42 to 59 cents. Now the honest knock, and there's that sentence from number 7 coming back. You can't legally shoot a deer with it in Virginia. The state wants 23 caliber or larger, and a .223 measures 224 thousandths. Washington bans centerfire under 24 caliber for big game. Maryland goes by energy instead, 1,200 foot-pounds at the muzzle with no caliber floor, and most .223 loads clear that. And that's before the straight wall states. Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, and Illinois don't care what caliber you brought. They ban bottleneck cartridges outright, which is exactly what a .223 is. Read your own regs before you build a food plan around this rifle. Number 2, a 9mm handgun, $490 to $620 for a Glock 19 Gen 5, 25 to 30 cents a round, $245 to $305 for a case of 1,000. One number puts it this high, and it's got nothing to do with terminal performance. A TF traced 1,300,000 pistols between 2017 and 2021. 9mm was 49.5%. Half the pistols this country runs a trace on are chambered in one round. The 9 is nobody's favorite. It's everybody's. The day the trucks stop, the round you can find beats the round you wanted. The honest knock from the best data there is. Braga and Cook, JAMA Network Open, 2018. Boston shootings where the caliber was known. A medium caliber killed 2.25 times as often as a small one. A large caliber, 4.5. Caliber matters. Anybody telling you it doesn't is selling you a tribe. A handgun is what you've got on you when the rifle's in the truck. That's the whole job. Before number 1, I'm going to make the case against this entire list as hard as it can be made. A gun channel that only sells you up is lying to you. Charge 1. Nobody in these videos ever brings up reloading. That comment shows up every time, and it's dead right. Every caliber I've named can be stretched by a man with a press, a die set, and a 5-gallon bucket of range brass. Brass. That steel case, 762. You just heard me price is Burden primed. And Burden is a one-way trip. Rimfire can't be reloaded at all. The priming compound is spun into the rim at the factory, and that's the end of it. When the last one's gone, it's gone. That's the strongest argument against my own top pick, and I'm not saving it for the end where nobody's listening. Charge 2. A lot of men wrote that you're not surviving a sustained gunfight anyway, so 500 rounds is a lifetime supply, and your first defense is being invisible. They're right. But this ammo isn't for a gunfight. It's for eating. A round spent on a rabbit is still a round spent, and rabbits don't stop coming after 500. That's the whole reason the count matters. Number 1, a .22 rifle. A 10-22, $260 to $350, 7 to 9 cents a round. A case of 5,000 runs, $339 to $405. A loaded .22 weighs 51.5 grains. 136 rounds to the pound. 30 pounds of .22 is 4,078 rounds, against 296 of 12 gauge. Now, let me take something off my own side because this is where the .22 crowd oversells it. The line you hear most is that 1,000 rounds of .22 weighs the same as 200 rounds of .223. It doesn't. 1,000 rounds of .22 is 7.36 pounds. 200 of .223 is 5.2. The .22's 41% heavier. The real number's 700. The man who says that is right about space and wrong about weight. A single .223 cartridge takes up 6 times the room. Leads lead, and your back only cares about pounds. 4 bricks, 2,000 rounds, 14.7 pounds. That's a bowling ball. Go put a bowling ball in the pack you already carry and see what has to come out to make room. Here's the truth the title promised you. There's no such thing as a survival gun. There are survival calibers. The gun's the adapter you bolt onto one. You've been shopping for the wrong thing your whole life. So have I. The verdict's what you came for, so take 1 second and subscribe first. Run it back. The bolt gun outranges everything else here and starves you first. The AK is the simplest rifle alive, and it now eats the most expensive common round in America. The .22 pistol, quietest thing you'll ever own, and the last one you'd pick to defend yourself with. The pump gun works harder for the money than anything on this list. Then it's empty. The AR has more spare parts than any rifle in history, and half the Midwest won't let you hunt with it. The 9 is the round that'll still be on a shelf. And the .22 is 4,000 rounds in a duffel bag that you can never make more of. One honest catch on number 1, because this channel doesn't do fairy tales. In 1992, Chris McCandless killed a moose in Alaska with a .22. 5 days later, his journal reads, "Maggots already, looks like disaster. I now wish I had never shot the moose. The .22 kills far more than you think. Keeping what it kills is a different skill." So, a winner? There isn't one. The numbers refuse to crown one, and you'd see straight through a fake anyway. Not a winner, a sorting. If you own one gun and $300, it's the pump 12 gauge. Nothing else at that price does that much work. If you've got land and you intend to eat what walks across it, buy the bolt gun in an .06. Your state already settled that question for you. If you're in an apartment in a restrictive state, it's the 9 and a .22 rifle where the law allows, and you check your own state law before you take advice from any list. This one included. If you already own the AR and the shotgun and the pistol, quit buying guns. Buy a case of .22 and a dry can with a good gasket to put it in. If you honestly think you might have to walk somewhere carrying what you own, the .22 rifle is the only answer the math allows, and you make your peace with never being able to reload it. And if you're the man with 7 guns and 11 boxes of ammo, none of this applies to you yet. You're the reason I started this whole thing with the trucks. One recommendation covers everybody. The gun you can feed beats the gun you can't. Go do this tonight. Takes 4 minutes. Get the kitchen scale. Put 1 box of whatever you own the most of on it. Divide by the round count. Then load 30 pounds into a pack. Walk to the end of your driveway and back. And ask yourself if you do that for 6 hours. Most men have never once weighed the thing their whole plan depends on. 2 things in the comments. The weight first. Pounds, not round counts. The real number, not the campfire number. Then the fight I want. For the men who own both an AR and an AK, which one would you actually carry 20 miles? Make the case with numbers. I read every one, and the comments decide what gets made here. A gun is just the handle. The ammunition is the weapon. Subscribe if this one earned it.